Bro, I couldn't even read one sentence, not even one page, one sentence without my mind wandering. Like, my attention span was that fucked up, bro. Think about that. I couldn't read one sentence without my brain just wandering into different thoughts. Think about that, bro. Like, my brain was so fucked up that I couldn't even read one sentence, bro. And now I'm happy to say that I absolutely love reading. Like, I literally read for hours if I want to. Like, the biggest problem that I have is that I don't have enough time to read. Like, seriously, bro, I literally stay up late to read. That's how much I love reading. I went from someone who couldn't even read one sentence to someone who's addicted to reading. And I'm gonna teach you exactly how I did that in this video. So basically, you hate reading because you have the identity of someone who hates reading. That's why you hate it. There's no other reason. This is literally the core reason. It's because you have the identity of someone who just hates reading. You've hated reading probably all your life. You don't like to read. You think reading is very boring, probably most of your life. You probably enjoy more being on social media than actually reading, right? And we know this for every single habit. Like, why did Arnold back in the day, he used to train like 5 hours a day, twice a day? It's because he had the identity of a bodybuilder. You know, why do like sprinters, they keep sprinting all day, every single day? It's because they have the identity of a sprinter. You know, why do the guys like at food competitions eat so much? It's because they have the identity of competitive eaters. You know, why do Buddhist monks meditate for like 10 hours a day? It's because they have the identity, right? So the reason you don't like reading is because of your identity. And the great thing is we can actually change your identity through this. And I've explained this so many times in a lot of videos, but I'm gonna just explain this briefly. So this is you right now with your current identity, and you probably hate reading. We'll call this version 1. And there's you, the version of you, who absolutely loves reading, who reading is so fun for him, who's literally addicted to reading, who's, you know, you can read for hours, like hours and hours and hours. You literally stay up late to read. That's how much you're addicted to reading and you love it. So, hates reading, loves reading. And basically, the only way to change your identity, to go from this person to this person, is through reading. Oh, the thing is, people have this idea that we are born with certain talents and passions. I don't believe in that. Like, passion, you're not born with it, or you're not born that you have like a passion for reading. No, passion is built. You first have to get good at something, then you like it, then you love doing it. But of course, when you're bad at something, you don't like it at all. And that's the reason you don't like reading. It's because you're honestly not that good at it yet. You're not good at it yet, and that's okay. Basically, simply, the more you read, the more you get addicted to it, just like social media. Like, I'll actually tell you a story, you know. I remember the first time I got a phone, I was probably like 10 years old or something. Like, you see all these kids right now getting like phones when they're like 3 or 4. I got my first phone when I was like 10, bro. So I got my first phone, and I didn't really use it that much. I didn't even like it that much because first of all, it was the first time I ever used the phone in my life. And second of all, I didn't even know how to use it. You know, I didn't know how to like use the home button and like go to Google. You know, I'm just like a young kid. I don't even know anything about technology. So I, in the beginning, would use it for like, you know, phone calls, you know, WhatsApp, things like that. Like, just for social reasons, like nothing crazy at all. And I would use it for like probably like 30 minutes a day, just my phone, right? But then the more I used it, the more I got addicted to it, you know? I used it for 30 minutes, then that 30 minutes became 1 hour, then it became 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, and now I use my phone for like 7 hours a day, bro. Like, it's because I have done it so many times, so I love it. This is with anything in life. The more you do something, the better you get at it, therefore, the more you love it. Like, you can see this with like football players, you know, bodybuilders. You know, the bodybuilder who's been training for like 10 years, he loves training. He doesn't give excuses or things like that. No, he actually loves working out. It's the most fun part of his day. You know, the entrepreneur who's like so successful, who had like a business for like 10 years. He loves doing business. He loves it because he's good at it. You have to get good at something, therefore you like it. And the more you read, the more you get addicted to it. Basically, it's that simple. So the way to go from the version of you who hates reading to the version of you who absolutely loves and is addicted to reading is through reading, basically. The more you read, the more you love it. So the first thing, and just the greatest thing, honestly, with reading is consistency. The more you do something, the more addicted you get to it. Or the more you do something, the more you become addicted to it, basically. And not only reading, but, you know, working out. You know, the bodybuilder who's been training for 10 years, he loves working out. You know, work. I've said like the entrepreneur example. Like, for example, meditation. You know, the Buddhist monks who like meditate for like 5 or 10 hours a day. They didn't start out like that, but they've been meditating for like 20 years. So that's like the best part of their day. They love it because they're good at it. They've done it so many times, so they love it. Same thing with journaling, same thing with reading. You know, anything in life, the more you do it, just the more you love it, basically. So you develop passion the more you do something for an extended period of time. You know, I'll actually give you an example. You know, like old people, like very old people, like in their 80s and their 90s, who are like 90 years old, you know, your grandpa or grandma. Those people are literally addicted to reading anything. Like, you just see them, they like read like the label on like medicine books. They read like the newspapers. They read like 500 books a year. They read so much because that old person, he's been reading since he was like a little child. He was reading like magazines and like comics and things like that. Not like us, we've been on social media, but he's been reading for so many years, so he's just addicted to it. He loves it, just like me and you are addicted to social media, right? We've been so addicted to social media because we've been doing it so many times. That's the first thing, consistency. Just read every single day, all right? The second thing, and this is so powerful, bro, like this will literally make you addicted to reading, like no joke, is, I'll just call it fun books. And I will explain what that means. You have to, especially if you're just starting out reading, you have to read fun books. You have to read books. What I mean by fun books is books that you actually want to read, that you are actually interested in. The books about topics that you literally think about all day. You think about those topics like 24/7, like when you're in the car, when you're at home, you always think about that certain topic. Bro, when you read a book on that topic, you will not be able to even leave that book. I'll actually give you a story here, you know. So this story actually happened like a few weeks ago. So I was reading a book on how to make money. And I'm not gonna say the name of the book, but I was reading a certain book on making money. And the book was nice, you know, it had like good principles and things like that. But the problem is, I was interested in getting girls. I wanted to learn, you know, how to be like the alpha male who like gets all the girls, like the jacked guy, the rich guy who like has all the girls, you know. How to be that guy, how to get girls, like what do women want. Like I was interested in getting girls, all right? I wasn't interested in making money, but I was reading a book on money. So the thing is, when I was reading that certain book, it was so boring for me. I remember just like when the time of my routine was to read, I would just drag myself to I'm hating. I have to drag myself and like force myself to read every single page and not even understand anything, and it's just so boring, man. But then when I finished that book, I read a book, and that book was called A Billion Wicked Thoughts. It's like a book on, you know, human desire, like what do men and women want sexually, basically. And what I realized was the book that I was reading on money had way higher ratings than the other book, which was called A Billion Wicked Thoughts. So I started reading that book, and I was literally addicted to it. Like I would literally stay up for hours till like 4 a.m., which I'm not recommending, which is not a good thing. I'm not recommending that you do that. You should sleep early at the same time every single day. But I was so interested in that book that I would stay up late to read it. And I remember actually when I finished the book, I finished it in like 2 or 3 days. I finished the book on money in like 30 days because it was really boring. I was so sad because I was so interested in that book, because it was a fun book. It was a topic that I was actually interested in reading, which is getting girls. Especially if you are just starting out, or if you've been reading for a long time, just like me, bro. That story actually happened like a few weeks ago. Read books that you are interested in. Read books that are fun, about topics that you actually want to read. If you read a book that you are genuinely interested in, you will be addicted to it. It's that simple. Like, I think people always talk about, you know, I hate reading. Well, of course you hate reading because you're reading a book that is so boring to you, a book that you even don't want to read, you know? Bro, honestly, like when you find a book that is actually about a topic that you are genuinely interested in, like, you will literally stay up late to finish that book. You will finish that book in like 2 to 3 days because of how interested you are in it. It's really simple. Think about what you think about all day, right? There's probably a certain thing that you think about all day. If it's getting girls, read books on getting girls. Read books on how to become the alpha male, the top man that all women desire. You know, if it's making money, read books like The Millionaire Fastlane, like The Rich Dad Poor Dad. If like it's social skills, read books like How to Influence and Influence People, you know. If it's, you know, you want to break your porn addiction, read Atomic Habits, right? If you want to stop caring what people think about you, read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's that simple, bro. Read books that you actually want to read. I want you to do like a quick visualization here. Like, I want you to close your eyes and visualize that you're 80 years old, right? You've read like thousands and thousands of books across your lifetime, and you open a book, you're next to like a calm, you know, campfire, and you're sitting on like this rocking chair, and the light is just perfect on the words that you're reading, and your beautiful dream wife just enters your room and like hands you like a coffee or something, and you're so happy that you've developed this amazing habit since you were young. Isn't that how you're supposed to live? Isn't that how you want to live? Just imagine that, bro. Just imagine that. Like, if you're like 80 years old and you've just read like thousands and thousands of books, you know literally everything on any topic in the world. Like your kids come to you for advice on, like, you know, dating, for example. You literally know everything on how to attract women, how to love a woman, how to have a beautiful, amazing relationship with women. You know everything about that because you've read. You know, your kids ask you, like, how do they make money? You know everything on how to make money because you've read tons and tons of books on how to make money. You know, your kids, they want to make some friends. You know literally everything on how to make friends. You know, your future wife, she's stressed and just wants to improve her mental health. You know literally everything for her on how she can improve her mental health. Like, imagine how much value you can give and how much fucking money you can make if you read thousands of books. Because making money, like the principle of making money, because I know you want to make money, bro. Like, we all want to make money. The principle of making money is, the first principle is value exchange. It's, I give you value, you give me money. Which, if you want more detail, I solve your problems, you give me money. And if you read, you are able to solve problems, you will make money. Because you can solve people's problems. That's all I'm gonna say, bro. This is how you become addicted to reading. Be consistent, read books that you genuinely want to read. As always, we're in this together. We're gonna make it, bro. Promise you, we're gonna make it. Together. Peace, take care.